And thanks for those in Instagram as well, and thanks for those in Facebook. And I'm very excited tonight because I'm going to talk to you about how you can learn the whole validation process in just 1 week. So that's what I promised that I was going to share to you how you can do that. The validation process is somehow a little bit the process is simple, but the process is unfortunately not easy, because it's got a lot of things. And tonight I'm going to share with you how you can really learn quick the whole process. I'm not going to teach you how you can do it, because it's a lot of things, and will require probably about 12 hours of your time, and obviously you don't have 12 hours tonight. But tonight I'm going to share with you how you can learn the process. If you don't know anything about the process, I'm going to tell you how you can learn the process. So, and that's probably a good start. If you guys can put in the comments yes or no, if you know the process or if you don't know the process. If you know the process, if you could please put yes in the comments. If you don't know the process, please put no, so I know in my audience if you guys know or if you guys don't know. So no, Rubia says no, Favi says no. And another thing, where are you guys? Because I've been obviously promoting my workshop, and I got a lot of people from a lot of places, and I'm very glad every time that I get a new subscription. I can see that I've got people from Brazil, I've got people from Colombia, I've got people from Mexico, Peru, Australia, Philippines, India, Pakistan. So it's quite rewarding for me to know that I can kind of reach people from all over the world and share my knowledge to help you guys. Because when I did my process 15 years ago, I had a lot of difficulties, didn't really have information, and I want to be here tonight to start this journey with you. So we've got people, Pablo from Argentina. Yeah, thank you very much, Pablo, for waking up very early. I think it's probably 7:42, 7:45 a.m. in the morning there. We've got Inozak from Sydney, Camila, Brazilian, living in Adelaide. Yeah, nice. Those on Instagram, where are you from? You're from Brazil. Did you wake up early as well? So very happy that yeah, thanks Julia in Instagram. Very happy that you guys managed to make it. But first, for those that don't know me, and Julia, yeah, thanks for waking up early, Julia, from Brazil. Helbert in YouTube, he's Colombian living in Brisbane. Yeah, Roberta, she's from Brazil. Yeah, very good. Yeah, thank you very much. I think that those ones in Facebook, the lack of sound, I think, it scared them, but that's all right. So, but first, for those that don't know me, my name is Gerson Ida. I'm the founder of the website www.engineersinaustralia.com, a website that I created almost 2 years ago to share information about engineering qualification validation in Australia, to help you guys to have your journey a little bit easier than the journey that I had when I validated my qualification. And also I share information about other subjects about engineering, for example, workplace health and safety, environmental management. Last month I shared the content about contract management in engineering projects. And I also have a special series, how to get your first engineering job here in Australia. But tonight is going to be about the validation process, because the validation process is usually a prerequisite of majority of the visas that you guys will be applying to come live and to work in Australia. Majority of the visas, they will require you to have your validation, your qualification validated. I'm a Brazilian civil engineer. I graduated back in 1994, so it's been a long time. And as I said, I migrated to Australia with my wife some 15 and a half years ago, back in 2005. And very happy to be here. And tonight I'm going to talk about how you can learn the validation process in just 1 week. I'm not going to teach tonight how you can validate your qualification, but how you can learn the whole process. Because some people, and I've got a lot of people here, Pablo says no again, Isonak says no, Camila says yes, Herbert says yes, they know the process. In Instagram, Julio Cesar says no, Roberta says no, Flavie says no, Rubia says no. So there's a lot of people that don't know how to validate the engineering qualification in Australia. So, and I can guarantee to you, the process is simple and it's a dream, because especially those ones that are probably not in Australia, if you are here tonight with me, it's because you probably have an interest to one day to migrate to Australia, becoming a permanent resident or becoming an Australian citizen like myself. So it's a big dream. Obviously, we all love our home countries. I'm from Brazil, and obviously my whole family and my friends, they are in Brazil. As a Brazilian, I will never, I always going to obviously love my country, but sometimes the country doesn't offer what you're after, and that's what we did. With heavy-hearted, we left our country and we came to Australia. Nowadays, obviously, I'm glad that I followed my wife and we left Brazil and came to Australia. We have a daughter today. She's 13 years old, and we're very happy here. We feel very safe in these times of COVID as well. I can see that there's a lot of places outside Australia that they are really having a lot of trouble, and unfortunately Brazil is one of them. And obviously we pray that everything goes all right in Brazil and in Colombia and in other places, in Argentina, etc. All right, so we're going to start with the content soon, but I would just like to ask you guys if you are already in my Telegram group, because the Telegram, what is Telegram? Telegram is like a WhatsApp, and I'm just going to paste the link in YouTube and Facebook, because Telegram, I've got a group in Telegram, and my group in Telegram has already more than 820 members, and it's a free group. You can join the group, and in that group I share a lot of content about the validation process. I share content about jobs, job opportunities. When I know job opportunities, I share in the group as well. So if you're not part of my Telegram group, please consider being part of the group. You just need to download the app first. So it's Telegram, and once you download the what am I doing here? Telegram in Facebook. So once you download the app, then you can click on this link and then you can join the group. And if you have a particular question about the validation process, please put in the comments, because it certainly helps me to make the live session a little bit more customized. And if you have obviously a question, I can address that question. That makes the live session more interesting. So put in the comments, please. Julio says already put something in the comments. I will be answering those questions fairly soon. So if you have a blockage, if you don't know how to start, if you have a question about a validation process, put in the comments, please, and I will be answering them soon. And perhaps you know me already from my videos on YouTube, or already participated in the validation workshops, previous validation workshops. Or even you have attended some of my Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube live sessions before. So I can recognize some of the names. And if you are a newbie or new, if this is the first time that you are attending my live session, can you please put new in the comments? And if you have already participated in one of my live sessions, can you put old? So I know if you are new or old, because then I may repeat some information, I may not repeat some information. But tonight I was going to talk to you how you can learn Ruby anew. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope that the content is useful for you. Usually these live sessions, I try to make it 30 minutes, but because of interaction and etc., usually goes for like an hour. I've got Wainera, Marista, new, Rodrigo, new, Murilo, new. Yeah, there's quite a few people new. Helbert in YouTube, new. Yeah, thank you very much. Rubia, yeah, thanks E2B. I'll make my effort. And obviously English is not my native language. My native language is Portuguese. My Spanish is not good, so I could speak some Portuguese, but yeah. But I will be speaking in English. And if you can't really understand something, please just let me know, and if those ones can excuse me, then I'll quickly explain in Portuguese. But the intention to have those live sessions in English is that English is very important for your validation process, and I will try to speak slowly, not too slow, but I'm not going to speak as fast as I probably would speak in my day-to-day, because I understand that some people, English may not be like me, the native language, and you may not understand everything that I want to say, and obviously I want you to understand what I'm saying. Yeah, he's new. Camila, new. Good. So how you can learn the whole process in just 1 week? If you are here, it's probably a great possibility that you have already registered to my free workshop. So I have an online free workshop that I'm going to start next Sunday. So 11th of April. Next Sunday is going to be 10 a.m. Brisbane time, the opening webinar. For those in Brazil, it's going to be, I think, 9 p.m. Saturday. So Saturday, 9 p.m. at night in Brazil. I think Colombia is going to be Saturday, 7 p.m. because you guys are 3 hours behind. In Argentina, I think you use pretty much same time as in Brazil, Saturday, 9 p.m. or if depends where you live in Argentina, you could be 2 hours. It could be 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. But it's going to be 10 a.m. Brisbane time on Sunday. So that's what is important for you to know. And tonight, I'm going to talk about how the workshop is going to work and why I'm saying that you can learn the whole process in just 1 week. So today there's a lot of people here, or tonight there's a lot of people here that they don't know the validation process, and I can guarantee to you that after you attend the workshop, you will understand everything that you need to do to start your validation process. So I've prepared the content of the workshop with a lot of love, with a lot of care. There's a lot of content, there's a lot of information, and that's why I say that you're going to learn in 1 week, because the workshop is going to take pretty much 1 week. It's a lot of information for you to consume in just 1 day. So I split the whole information in pretty much 7 or 8 days, Sunday to Sunday. So every day you can receive some content. Every day you can digest the content. You can ask questions in the groups. And I'm going to show you the 2 groups that I have, one in Facebook, another one in Telegram. So you can send your questions. We can interact. The important thing, well, I'm going to explain, because then it's going to be clear for you. So you know that I do all these live sessions pretty much every week, and tonight is live session number 93. And today is Tuesday. I usually do the live sessions on a Sunday, but last Sunday I haven't done it because it was Easter, and not because it was a holiday. I did already many holidays, but I know that a lot of people traveled and they were not going to be able to attend. So I decided to, instead of doing last Sunday, to do tonight. But the workshop is different from the live sessions. The workshop, as I called, Engineering Qualification Validation free online workshop. So just remembering that's going to be online. It's going to start Sunday, 11th of April, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. And the second thing that you need to know is, why is this event more interactive than the previous workshops that I did? Well, first, because I put together 3 layers in this workshop. So the first layer is just content. Some people may think it's boring. Some people may think it's not interesting. But I keep saying that a content is boring if you are not interested. If you have no interest in the content, whatever content is going to be very boring. But if you guys are interested to learn how you can validate your engineering qualification validation, which is just a small step for your dream to perhaps work as an engineer here in Australia. I work as an engineer in Australia since 2007-8. So it's been a while that I'm working as an engineer here, and I can say that it's a dream that I fulfilled. So the first layer is pure content. And in this first layer, I will send you 3 videos of the validation workshop. And each video, the first video is going to be about 25 minutes. The second video is going to be about 35 minutes. And the third video is going to be about 25 minutes again. Oh yeah, Gerson, 25 minutes, 35 minutes, it's a long video. Yes, it is, because I am explaining in a lot of details the process step by step, and not just the process, because the process you can download the booklet. I'll show you here. That's the booklet. That's the booklet from Engineers Australia. March 2020. So that's one way that you can learn. You can download the booklet from Engineers Australia website, Migration Skills Assessment booklet, and then you can read all the 50 pages, and then you will understand what the process is. But my workshop, obviously, the information is information that is in the booklet because I'm not making anything up. But there are some other valuable information in the workshop. I give a lot of examples. I have questions and mistakes that usually engineers they make. That's in video number 2. So I'm going to just let you know what I'm going to cover in these 3 videos. And very, very important that the email, if you have registered already to the workshop, you already got my emails. So have you guys already registered to my workshop? Are you getting my emails? If you have registered to the workshop, but if you're not getting my emails, and today I sent probably a few emails, or at least a couple of emails, certainly just before the live session, I sent you guys a reminder of the live session. So if you received my email, if you have registered and receiving my emails, very good. If you have registered but you haven't received my emails, it's probably because the emails are going to your junk mailbox. And if it's going to your junk mailbox, it means that when I send the videos with the content, you're not going to see because it's going to junk mailbox. And who checks junk mailbox? Nobody. So it's a good idea for you to go to your junk mailbox. If you find my email, save my email address in your contacts and then put a star. I think you can put a favorite or a star mark in my email address and tell your Gmail, your Hotmail, your Yahoo account that that email address, you want that email address to go to your main inbox. Sorry. So the video content, there will be, I'm going to talk in video number 1, I'm going to talk about the 5 different pathways to validate engineering qualification in Australia. And also I'm going to talk about the 6 steps of the competency demonstration report, CDR. Gerson, I don't know what CDR is. Yes, don't need to worry about. After video number 1, you will know. And then video number 2, I'm going to talk about the top 7 questions about the validation process that I usually receive. I'm going to talk about the top 7 mistakes that engineers usually they make during the validation process. And I'm going to give you 6 practical examples of CPD, Continuing Professional Development. And then in video, and number 2, I'm going to talk about if you are a self-employed engineer or if you are the owner of an engineering company, what do you need to do to also validate your engineering qualification. And then in video number 3, I'm going to talk about the format of the career episodes and how to better choose the experiences. I'm going to talk about the risks of plagiarism. I'm going to talk about the summary statement, and I'm going to talk about the Engineers Australia revision process in case your application is not approved. So that's layer number 1, which is pure content. 3 videos they are going to be sent directly to your email. So layer number 2 is going to be layer of community. A layer of community, they are the groups that I'm talking about. So I've got a group in Facebook, Migration Skills Assessment for Engineers Australia, and also I've got a group in Telegram. So the group in Telegram, I put the link in the comments in YouTube and Facebook. Those ones in Instagram, you can go to my bio, and the link is in my bio there. And in those groups, it's important, as I said, The Telegram group, I've got more than 820 members in the group. It's free for you to join. And my group in Facebook, Migration Skills Assessment, I've got, I think, more than 1,600 members already in the group. So, and why isn't important the community layer? Because majority of the people that are in those groups, they have the same objective. They all have the objective of validating their engineering qualification here in Australia. And majority of them, they want to validate because they want to apply for a visa that gives them a permanent visa and obviously the right to live in Australia and to work in Australia indefinitely. And after a few years, obviously you can then apply for a citizenship if you want to and get an Australian passport. So, but majority of those members, they have the same objective. They have the objective of validating the engineering qualification. And when somebody puts a question there, I feel very happy because I can answer the questions and I know that my answer or the information is going to help hundreds, perhaps 1,000 of people. So if you have one question, please put in the group because your question could be somebody else's question as well. So that's layer number 2. Layer number 3, they are the live sessions with me. So during the workshop, I usually do more lives than normal. I usually do just one live per week in normal times when I'm not doing the workshop. But when I'm having the workshop, I have then 4 live sessions. And I'm planning to do a few more, but it's going to be 4 live sessions. The first live session is going to be the opening webinar on Sunday, 10 a.m. in the morning, Brisbane time. And then the second live session is going to be on the Sunday as well, but then 8:30 p.m., the normal live session. And then on Thursday, I'm going to do a live Instagram session where I'm going to give away 15 minutes of free consulting services. Somebody from the audience, you can raise your hand and then I can choose you to share the screen with me. And then you can explain your case and we can discuss and debate about your particular case. And depending on the time, I can choose not just one. I had already events that I chose more than one. I chose 2. And the last live event is going to be on the Sunday, the 18th of April, which is the closing webinar, where I'm going to review the whole process and I'm going to talk about the next steps that you can take to advance with your validation process. Because a lot of people already contacted me asking if I'm going to open a new mentoring group. Some of you may or may not know, but I also have a mentoring program. I don't really run the mentoring program too often. At the moment, the groups are closed. There's no open groups. I'm not opening now, but a lot of people already asked me if I'm going to open a new group. So during the workshop, if people, they really become interested, I may decide to open. And if I decide to open, then on the Sunday, during the closing webinar, I then let you guys know. I'll let you guys know if I'm going to open a new group or not. So this is the 3rd layer, the layer of events. So I'm going to show you the calendar, and to show the calendar, I'm actually going to show my my website, if I can find here. Where is, I'm just going to open my website because then I can show you the calendar and the workshop page as well. So hopefully it is going to work. Where is that? Where is that? Yes, I think it is. I think it's working now. Just going to check if the sound is still good as I change the screen. So hopefully you guys still can hear me. Yeah, Instagram, you guys can still hear me. And Facebook. Yeah, I think. Yeah, Facebook is also going. And I can see Rodrigo, you're interested. Yeah, thank you. Flavi, you're also interested. Thank you. So this is my website, and apologies for the website, but it's I've done this website. I built the website, so it's an engineer building a website. So it's not really probably very beautiful, but that's the best that I could do. So when you go to my website, there's Eng Qual Val workshop. So you can go there. Sorry, I've got something in my throat. It's not COVID, but so I'm actually going to. Yeah, so that's when you go to Eng Qual Val workshop. That's the workshop page. So as you can see, the opening webinar is going to be 11th of April. So what happens is that 11th of April on Sunday, 10 a.m. in the morning, you can click here on this button. So when you click on the button, it will open up the Zoom. And then you can, if you have Zoom installed, that's all right. If not, you can join from your browser there. So once you click in there, you can put your name, etc. And then let's say Gerson. And then you can join. But obviously, I haven't started the meeting yet, but you will be waiting in the waiting room. So once you click join, you will be in the waiting room, and then I will be able to admit you in the webinar. So that's on Sunday. But what I was going to show you was the calendar. And here the videos in the workshop page, the videos are going to be accessible as well. So currently they are locked, but then that's the calendar. I'm going to just make it slightly bigger. So Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time, opening workshop webinar, live session on a Sunday, 8:30 p.m. And then on Monday, 9 a.m., I'm going to send the email with the first video of the workshop. So it's going to be Monday, Brisbane time, 9 a.m., Saturday, 8 p.m. in Brazil. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to release the second video of the workshop. And then on Thursday, 8:30 p.m., I'm going to have the Instagram live session. And then on Friday, I'm going to release the third video of the workshop. And then on Sunday, 10 a.m., is going to be the live webinar. We're going to be reviewing the whole process, answer questions, and talk about what you need to do to give your step forward. And if you haven't registered to the workshop yet, you can register to the free workshop. My assistant just gave me my a little lozenge so I can kind of get rid of my itchy throat. So if you're not registered to the free workshop, you can click here, and then it will open up the registration page. So that's a registration page, very simple. You just need to put your email address, your first name, and then you select if you're Brazilian, if you live in Brazil, live in Australia, if you're living another place. Why do I ask this? Sorry. Well, I'm asking this because some of you, when you guys receive my emails, some of you receive in Portuguese, others they receive in English. Some of you that are living in Brazil, you actually receive my email in the Brazilian time. So I actually, every time I draft my emails in English, in Portuguese with the Brazilian time, and Portuguese with Australian time. So I'm trying to make it easier for you guys to understand as well. And then once you register, I'm going to put my so I am a Brazilian, I'm living in Australia. So register now. So what's going to happen once you register? I think it will open up another page. Yeah, your registration is confirmed. And please don't forget to save my email address to your contacts so you can get the workshop videos. And obviously there's my social media there that you can join. But it's important to check your email because you will get a confirmation email. And I think that's, I just tried to see if I can find where is that so I can show you. Where is that? I cannot. Workshop gratuito. Yeah, where is my email? Confirming. Yeah, that's it. No, that's not it. Yes, it takes probably about a minute or two. So this is the email that you will get once you register. So it's very important for you to check that you get that email. So the subject is, in this case, it's in Portuguese because I put I am Brazilian, so the email is in Portuguese. But that's the registration is confirmed, and then you have pictures of the locked videos there, and then you find the calendar and everything there. There's a little bit of testimonies of my students as well. So it's very important for you to make sure that you get the confirmation email. So go back to the workshop page. And also, if you have a question, I'll put in here. If you have a question, please write in this comments box and post. So I will be checking those comments in my workshop page, and then I can reply in there as well. And then here you can join my Telegram group, and you can join my Facebook group, Migration Skills Assessment for Engineers Australia. And also this is very important as well, and I had a lot of people that already sent me a lot of questions. If you have your top 3 questions, you can send me by SurveyMonkey. So once you click on that button there, it will open up the SurveyMonkey. It's just 3 questions. It's very simple. You put I'm a civil engineer, let's say. If you want a response by email, if you want me to send by email, you can put your email there, and then you can put your question. How much is the validation process? Another question. Do I need to be fluent in English, and how long does it take for the validation process? So let's say that these are the 3 questions. And where are you now? Well, I'm in Australia. Okay, and finish. So it doesn't really take a lot. It takes less than probably 2 minutes. And those questions will help me during the workshop. And also those questions, they will help me when I'm recording my videos and then when I'm choosing the subjects for the live sessions as well. And further down, there are a few testimonies of my students that they've been approved by Engineers Australia. And that's the workshop page. So again, how you go there? You just go to my website, engineersinaustralia.com, and there is a menu on the right hand corner, Eng Qual Val Workshop. So once you click in there, it will then go to the workshop page. Again, the workshop page, it was me that I developed and built, so that's why it's a very engineer shape. It's not very interesting, but that's what I managed to do. Okay, what else I'm going to share with you today? I shared the calendar, and I shared already how you can register. If you are watching in Instagram, there is a link in my bio. So once you click on that link, it will open up a few buttons, and the first button is for you to register to the free workshop. So again, really important that you need to double check your email address once you submit your registration. If you haven't received my email confirming your registration after 10 minutes or so, it's probably because the email is sitting in your junk mailbox or in your spam box. If it's there, just save my email address in your favorite contacts, so your email provider understands that you want to receive emails from that address. And also, it's free, 100% free. If you know any other engineer that is willing to learn how to validate engineering qualification, obviously you're more than welcome to share the registration link, and your colleagues or friends can also register. I'm just going to the questions because I think I got a few questions there. Julio Cesar, he was asking, I'm going to translate here. He is written in Portuguese, but I'm going to translate in English. Gerson, is the validation process in Australia, is it accepted in New Zealand or in other countries? Gerson, is the validation process for Australia accepted in New Zealand? Yeah, he's written in Portuguese and English, or other countries. Well, the validation process, and that's a very good question, Julio. I don't know if you're still there in Instagram, Julio. Sorry it took a while to answer your question. If you are there, yeah, say yes. But I'm going to answer anyway. The validation process, it's what Engineers Australia, they classify as stage 1 of the registration. So it means that Engineers Australia is going to assess if your qualification in your home country is equivalent. Yeah, thanks Julia. So stage 1, or the validation process, Engineers Australia is going to assess if your qualification, if your degree in your home country is equivalent to an Australian degree. So that's the validation process. There is something that is called International Engineering Alliance. It's when you are registered, especially as a chartered professional engineer in Australia. For example, myself, I don't really have here with me, but I am a chartered professional engineer with Engineers Australia, and which puts me eligible for recognition in several other countries. So, including New Zealand, including United States, including Japan, including Canada, and many, I think 25 countries in the world that they are part of this International Engineering Alliance. So it means that if I am recognized as a chartered professional engineer, which is what we call here stage 2, it's much easier for me to kind of, if I go to the UK, England, for example, I can then be registered in the UK Institute of Professional Engineers as an engineer without really having to do anything else, because I'm already recognized as a chartered professional engineer here in Australia. But that's for the stage number 2. Unfortunately, for stage number 1, which is just the validation process, you probably not going to be able to be recognized in other countries yet. And why is that? Because stage number 1 means that your degree is equivalent, but your competencies and experience, you're not really able to kind of work if you're not supervised. So when you attain a chartered professional status, it means that you are competent, you're recognized by Engineers Australia at a higher level, and you can work without supervision. So, and that's why in those countries, once you are chartered professional engineer or stage 2, then you are mutually recognized as a professional engineer in other countries. For example, in the company that I work, I've got an engineer. He's a Sri Lankan engineer, but he was working in the UK, and he was member of the Institute of Chartered Engineers in the UK. And when he came to Australia, because he was member of the Institute of Chartered Engineers in the UK, he just applied to become a chartered professional engineer here in Australia. Just pay the form and pay the fee and fill out the form and demonstrate CPD, continuing professional development, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. So in answer to your question, Julio, if you validate, it works for Australia. For you to work in New Zealand and in other countries, you need to then accumulate a little bit more experience and then apply to a stage 2, which is the chartered professional engineer. And I think I had a question in YouTube. I'm just going to go back there. I had a question from Isonak Mafra. You're still there, Isonak? Sorry, it took a little bit longer. So I've got a question from Isonak, and I've got a question from Camila. So I'm not sure if you guys are still there. If you are, just let me know. But Isonak's question was, I am already 4 years in Australia, and I still haven't validated my diploma. Is there any time limit to validate the diploma? No, there isn't, Isonak. That's a good news. For example, I have a student that she was living here. She was living. Hi, Isonak, you here? She was living here for quite a few years as well, and she also graduated long time ago. She graduated back in 2003, and I think she came here back in 2015, and she started her validation process in 2019 after 4 years here, after 2003, 16 years after graduated, and she got validated in January 2020. So just because you are here for 4 years and you still haven't validated your diploma, your qualification, there's no time limit. So you can still validate. Obviously, it's a good idea to have a chat with a registered migration agent, because I believe that if you want to get some points because of some experience, etc., if you are here for a long time, you may not be able to validate your work experience in your home country, because I think there's a length of time that I think in the last 10 years or so. So if you are here for 4 years, if you have worked a lot of time back in your home country, because you're here 4 years without really working as an engineer, you kind of lose that period. But in terms of the validation, there's no time limit. You can start your validation anytime. Obviously, the sooner the better, because it means that if you are validated, and that's another question that I receive a lot, if you need to be validated to find a work as an engineer. And the answer is depends. Depends where you are. If you are here in Queensland, Queensland is the only state in Australia that will require you to be a registered professional engineer of Queensland to sign and to provide professional engineering services. It's like your CREA in Brazil. If you're not registered, you cannot work as an engineer in Brazil if you're not registered with CREA. Here in Queensland, if you're not registered with the Board of Professional Engineers of Queensland, you cannot work and provide professional engineering services unless you are directly supervised by a registered professional engineer, or if you are following prescriptive procedure. But I can tell you that there's a lot of engineers in the market, and although you're not required to be validated to work as an engineer in many states in Australia, if you apply for a job and if you are not validated, there will be a lot of engineers that will be applying and they are validated. So which means that straight away you don't really have an advantage. You actually disadvantaged, because let's say that and it happened with us. We've advertised a position to hire an engineer. It was quite a senior engineer position, and we've got 70 applicants, 70 applicants. And when the panel is assessing those applications, first thing that we see, those ones that are validated or not. And those ones that are not validated, we don't even progress with the analysis, because we're going to shortlist how many? Maybe 4 or 5 to interview. And if we got 70, those ones that are not validated, they straight away we eliminate them, and then we concentrate in the ones that are validated and the ones that are chartered professional engineers or professional engineers here in Queensland, because we just need 4 or 5 to interview. So in a market that there's a lot of engineers in the market, if you are validated, you're increasing your chances to get an interview. Because if you don't get an interview, obviously you're not going to get a job. So the objective is for you to at least to get an interview. So in the interview, you can then sell yourself as a professional. And don't think that just because you're sending a resume, you're going to be called for an interview. Time is valuable here in Australia, and panel members, they're not going to waste their time interviewing people that one, they don't have a good application, and two, that they don't really have the skills and competencies to do the job. So I see a lot of people, yeah, you don't need to be validated to get a job. Yes, they're correct. You don't need to, unless you are here in Queensland. But your chances to get an interview, if you're not validated, is very close to zero. So just be mindful of that. And Camila's question in YouTube, and if you guys have any other questions, please send me, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. Camila's question was, I have certificates in all of the occupation categories in engineering, but I have no work experience in technologist and professional engineer. I am a draftsperson, so how can I prove without work experience? All right, let's see if I can understand. I have certificates in all of the occupation categories in engineering. So, Camila, did you graduate as an engineer? And what sort of engineer did you graduate? So let's do a little bit of a consulting here for free. So Camila said that she's still here, so she can probably answer. I know that there's a little bit of a time lag, so I asked the question now, but takes about 40 seconds for you guys to get it. So Camila, if you can put what sort of engineer are you? If you graduated as an engineer, then I can understand a little bit better, and then I can answer your question. So she's saying that she's a draftsperson and how she can prove without work experience. Well, while she gets the question and while she answers the question in the comments, yeah, she's a mechatronics engineer. And the good news is that Engineers Australia does not require work experience. So Engineers Australia, just that tablet, Engineers Australia is, I think, the only assessing entity that does not require work experience. So if Engineers Australia, they don't require work experience, it means that if you don't have experience as an engineer, you can then use in your career episodes, you can use your academic engineering experience. So, and Camila is saying that she's got aeronautical automation technologist and mechatronics technician. So she has a few options. She can apply under the professional engineer category. She can apply under the engineering technologist category, and she can apply under the engineering associate category. But let's say that she's saying that she has no work experience in technologist and professional engineer. And let's assume that are you planning to apply under which category? Are you trying to apply under the professional engineer category? Because if you are planning to apply under the professional engineer category with no work experience, you can actually use your academic engineering experience. You can use your final assessment report. You can use your subject projects or subject reports. So a lot of my students, they actually, even though they had worked in Brazil, for example, but because the experience that they had in Brazil wasn't really good for the Australian experience, they ended up using academic experience, and they've been successful. So, and that's another thing that I'm going to explain during the workshop, because you got to be very careful when you are choosing your experience, because if you don't choose the right experience, Engineers Australia is probably going to not accept your experience and you'll not be approved. So, and during the workshop, I talk about how to choose the right experience as well. So, how can you prove without work experience? You can prove by using your academic engineering experience. But it's not any academic engineering experience. It needs to be the academic experience that is relevant to the ANZ SEO occupation definition. So yeah, we can talk more about that during the workshop. And obviously, if I open a new mentoring group and if you're part of my mentoring group, I teach in a very detail how you can choose your experiences. Any other particular question? Just going to check in Facebook. Got to open my let's see here. No questions in Facebook. No more questions in Instagram. I'll just double check questions in YouTube. What else do I need? Do I gotta talk to you guys? Just checking my notes here. Yeah. And just a quick reminder, because I got a lot of questions from systems engineers and information engineers. And those engineers, unfortunately, it's not Engineers Australia that will be assessing you guys. Those questions, the validation process for systems engineers, application engineer, information system engineers, etc. Although there's engineer in the title, the assessing organization is the ACS, the Australian Computer Science. Is it a society? Sorry, Australian Computing Society. And tomorrow 8 p.m. Brisbane time, 7 a.m. Brazil time or Brasilia time. I have a very good friend, Diego Oliveira. He's IT, information technology, and he's got a profile in Instagram. Yeah, sorry guys, this is really annoying. He's got a profile in Instagram called Café com IP. It's although he does in English as well. I'm just going to copy and paste in Facebook and YouTube. Instagram, I'm going to put in here in the comments. Café com IP. Café com IP. Well, those in Instagram you probably saw. I just put his profile. You could be asking yourself, yeah, it came in a different profile. Como vencer meu câncer? Yeah, that's my other profile in Instagram. Obviously, because I'm doing the live session, I can't really put a comment in my own live session. And that's my different profile. Some of you may or may not know, but I had cancer 7.5 years ago, and I created a profile to raise awareness for young people, because when I was diagnosed, I was 41 years old and was a colon cancer and almost died as well. So I created that profile to raise awareness. If you want to have a visit and have a look, and if you like it, may I please consider following me in my other profile. I share the things that I did and the things that I do that I believe that help me to overcome my cancer. But anyway, tomorrow 8 p.m. Brisbane time. I'm going to be live with him in his profile. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of my story here in Australia. And he's going to be asking questions about the validation process. And I'm actually going to invite him in an interview as well in my profile then, asking him to talk about how you can validate the information technology qualification here in Australia. I got Paulo just joining Instagram. Paulo Stropara, a very good friend of mine from my school times. Yeah, thanks very much, Paulo. Paulo is from Curitiba. He's very good and renowned dentist in Curitiba. Yeah, we used to play basketball. Remember, Paulo, when we used to play a lot of basketball at school? Yeah, thank you very much. You do a great job in Curitiba. Hopefully you're doing well with all of those COVID there. In Instagram, I've got another question. Murilo, he's asking, hi Gerson, what about environmental engineering? Is there a good market in Australia? I can tell you, Murilo, that environmental is taken very, very seriously here in Australia. And more, the environmental engineers, they are in very, very high demand. And why is that? Because companies, if they breach the Environmental Protection Act, which is the legislation, environmental legislation here in Australia, if they break the law, they can get in a big trouble. So the companies, they can get really, really big fines. They need to pay a lot of penalties. And not just that, directors and responsible people, they can go to jail if they break the law. So more and more companies, they are hiring environmental professionals. So they are hiring environmental engineers, they hiring environmental officers. And I can tell you, Murilo, a lot of the environmental officers, they are not environmental engineers. Which for you that perhaps want to start here and become in the future an environmental engineer, if you validate your qualification as an environmental engineer, and then if you apply for a job as an environmental officer, obviously you have the potential to grow and become a environmental engineer, environmental manager, etc., etc., etc. So certainly there's a lot of market in every category of engineering: construction, infrastructure, in building industry, mining, obviously. So there's certainly a very good market for that. Let's see if I've got any other question there. Conscious of time. So it's been already hour and a half almost, so, or hour and 15 minutes. So I'll probably going to wrap up. And again, if you haven't registered to the workshop yet, the link is in the comments or in the video description. If you're watching in Instagram, you can go to my bio and the link is there. Once you click on the link in my bio, there will be a few buttons, and then the first button is for you to register to the free workshop. And the opening webinar is going to start on Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. And pay attention to the email. If you are not part of the Telegram group, please be part of the Telegram group. Also in Instagram, once you click in my link in my bio, it will open up a link, a button, and one of the buttons is to join my Telegram group. Those on Facebook, Instagram, I put the Telegram group in the comments because I'm going to remind people of the webinar just before I go live on Sunday. And I'm going to send an email also on a Saturday, a reminder about the webinar, and I'm going to send another email 1 hour before I start the webinar as well. So make sure that you save my email address. And in Instagram, I got another question from, I don't know your name because your profile is Wayainera Marista. Sorry, I don't know your name, but you're asking, I'm a civil engineer. You know something about this field? Yes, I can say that I know a lot about this field because I'm also a civil engineer. And I work as a civil engineer here in Australia. Well, nowadays I'm in a management position. I'm the operations manager of a construction company, infrastructure construction company. It's a government construction company. So we build roads, bridges, we do maintenance on roads, bridges, electrical infrastructure, tunnels, culverts, retaining walls, sound barriers, yeah, whatever infrastructure you can think about, we construct and we do maintenance as well, and we do a lot of rehabilitation. So hi, Wayner. Yeah, now I know your name, Wayner Amarista. You've got 10 years of experience. Very good. Are you here in Australia or are you still in... Where are you? Are you in Brazil? No, he's a Venezuelan. Yeah, well done, Wayner. His question, I'm a Venezuelan civil engineer, but I'm living in Argentina and I have experience working in my country and Argentina. I want to know if I'm a good candidate to validate like engineer. Well, Wayner, if you are a civil engineer, Venezuelan, unfortunately you will have to do the more complex process, which is the competency demonstration report, which is the process that I did, and majority of engineers they will do. So, but the good news is that yes, you can validate your engineering qualification as a civil engineer. So, as I did, as many other engineers they did, I've got 10 students of my mentoring group that they've been validated already. Out of the 10, I think 4 of them are civil engineers. I've got mechanical engineers, environmental for Murillo, is it? Sorry, Murillo. I've got an environmental engineer that validated already. If you go to my web, I'm going to show you here, my website page. It's, if you go down towards the end, there is Walter. Walter, he's a Brazilian environmental engineer, and he's been validated last year. So there's I did an interview with him, and this one here, Leila. Leila, she's a civil engineer. So there's a little bit of a testimony, and this audio. It's Erica. She's a civil engineer as well, so that she's being validated. So, and I've got already production engineers. I've got a draft person that got validated as a obviously engineering associate draft person. I have a mechanical engineer that's being validated already, also my student. So any type of engineer you can validate. So as long as you have the right experience and as long as you know what you are doing. So it's very important. And I think I responded to some people that already sent me questions in SurveyMonkey. I said that in this process, it's very important for you to do a very good planning. So the better you plan, the better is going to be your validation process. I got a question here in Facebook. Arte Espelhado. Sorry, I don't know your name, but I'm going to call you Art Espelhado. Mechanical engineer from Portugal in the refrigeration branch. It's possible to validate in Australia. If you're a mechanical engineer from Portugal in the refrigeration branch, it is possible. I actually have one of my students. He's just finishing his process. He's just trying to get his English test. He's a mechanical engineer as well, and he's HVAC, air conditioning and fire evacuation engineer as well. So, and he's put together all his validation paperwork. It's really good, and I'm very confident that he will be able to validate. But as a mechanical engineer, yes, certainly with refrigeration experience, you can certainly validate as a mechanical engineer. Art Espelhado. Yeah, thanks for the question. Let's see. And Weiner is saying that he's living in Argentina. So where actually you live doesn't really matter. You can do your process here. If you are in Australia, you can do it. If you are in your home country, you can do it. If you live in a different country, you can do it. I believe that the only thing that you need to find out is your English test, because you can do IELTS or TOEFL or PTE, but I think it needs to be face-to-face. So you need to go to a testing center, I think. I'm not sure, but you can't really do your English test online. You have to go to a school or something to do your English test. All right. I'll check if I've got any other question there. Probably not. So if you guys are available tomorrow, 8 p.m. Brisbane time, I will be live in my friend's Instagram at cafe.com.ip, and I'll be talking about the validation process as well. I don't know what questions he's going to ask me, but yeah, if you are there, if you can participate, if you can send questions, we'll be more than happy to answer. All right then. I really hope that I can see you all Sunday morning, 11th of April, during the opening webinar, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. And I recognize some people that sent me questions in SurveyMonkey, and I replied to them. I recognize some of the names here. Thank you very much for your time in sending those questions. I hope that you enjoyed the answers. I tried to answer all the questions that I received in the SurveyMonkey. I dedicate an hour a day pretty much to answer the questions, and those questions will be very valuable during the workshop, because what I do a compilation of the questions, and then during the live sessions I answer those questions as well, because I know that a question of somebody can be your question as well, and if I answer those questions live, I can be helping a lot of people, and that's my intention. My intention is to reach as many people as I can, to help as many people as I can, because we gotta take advantage of internet. Internet is here, so I can say one thing and I can reach a lot of people. So that's the intention. All right, guys. I would like to thank you guys very much for your participation and your engagement. If you don't follow me in my Instagram, You just need to go Gerson Ida. Please consider following my profile in Instagram. Help my Instagram to grow so the content that I post in my Instagram can reach to more people. And I hope to see you either tomorrow during the live session with Diego or on Sunday morning during the opening webinar. Thank you very much, and I'll see you there.